Recently, where I've been living, it's been cold, windy, and rainy. So I thought, how about I load up a game with some of the best rain effects I have ever seen in a video game? It's a game that's moody, cold, and has an amazing presentation. That game is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. Oh, yes.
The Hudson River, 2 years ago. We had classified intelligence that a new type of Metal Gear was scheduled for transport.
Yeah.
The whole thing stank, but our noses have been out in the cold too long.
We are given the parameters of the Hudson River, and we are looking at the George Washington Bridge. Well, you know me, I just had to load up Google Maps and take a look at the real-world location that inspired one of my favorite video games of all time. We get a great shot at the George Washington Bridge, 8 lanes on the upper level, and there are 6 lanes on the lower level. 14 lanes on a bridge is very efficient. Here we go to Google Maps, back to New York and New Jersey from my Max Payne Google Maps video. Here we've got the George Washington Bridge, and I was a little surprised that I couldn't get a street view going across the entire bridge. There are some photos you can find online of people standing in the middle of the bridge and underneath the bridge, cue the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but no street view on Google Maps just going across it. You can find videos online of people driving over it, but you can clearly see that the game modeled the suspension of the George Washington Bridge accurately. Considering there was no Google Maps at the time to reference easily free of charge, they had some great reference photos to go off of to create 3D models for the game. From this shot, we see the character Snake is walking westward, with Manhattan behind him. One compression tower is visible, and following the tension of the cables, they are heading to their anchor point on the Manhattan side. Here we are on the New Jersey side of Google Street View, so Snake is walking towards us in this case, between the 2 suspender towers. He will jump off right before he gets to this west tower. Ooh, a street lamp. No, Snake! Yeah, espionage. Yeah, get him, Snake. Show him who's boss. We see Solid Snake lands on the aft of the ship Discovery. We can see from here, starboard is the New Jersey side, whereas Discovery's port is Manhattan. Therefore, Discovery is headed southbound on the Hudson. Take this Google Riverside view in as reference. This is the direction of travel that you, as the player, are traveling in. There's New York City out there. Let's hop aboard a real view on a route the Discovery takes in-game. With the George Washington Bridge behind us, let's move the screen to show Edgewater of New Jersey. And here it is in-game. There's a lot of buildings around the same size. Let's turn to our left. And here is Upper Manhattan, West Harlem. Now let's go ahead and check it out in the game. Let's get Solid Snake over there. Nope, just one moment. Alright, there we go. A little bit of cover, and we might be able to get a good view here. Yeah, there we go. Got a New York state of mind. Neat. Now what's going on here in-game is some trickery, an illusion with the skybox. Since the setting is the Hudson, the developers must convey to the player that they are on the Hudson, no matter when the player might look at their surroundings. Therefore, these buildings continue to generate. They never end, no matter if you are looking at the New York side or the New Jersey side. With the speed we are traveling and what we are expected to do on this mission to complete and then exit at a particular rendezvous is really cutting it close when you look at it from Google Maps. You're expected to infiltrate the ship's cargo hold and get photos of Metal Gear, all while the ship is being hijacked by former Spetsnaz Russian mercenaries. Knowing this, Snake and Otacon continue the mission as planned. And it's important to be off the ship before you get to this bridge that we see out in the distance. And why is that?
I'll be waiting just past the Verrazano Bridge. You need to be off that ship by then.
I'll be in touch.
We don't want to keep Otacon waiting. So looking at this here from the George Washington Bridge, we travel all the way down south to the Verrazano Bridge. The ship is designated to leave the United States without making any stops, so Discovery is hauling it out of here. When you plan a peaceful photography session and you get a windy, rainy New York night invaded by Spetsnaz going after a weapon of mass destruction, well, I may not be a betting man, but I'd bet the best laid plans go out the window at that point. I recommend Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty or the extended version Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. The presentation is incredible. This game's rain effects look better than many other games of today that try to incorporate precipitation. Droplets are being blown in every which direction, illustrating the force of the wind, instead of just hearing a windy sound effect. Once you get used to the controls and you suspend your disbelief, this game, just like Metal Gear Solid, will become very memorable if you have yet to play it. If you live in New York, you'll have something else to recall when you think of the busiest bridge in the world, the George Washington Bridge. And if you don't care about video games, well, I hope you learned something about bridges, at least in this video.
What's going on? Snake! Snake!
Check out my other videos I've made.